All right, we got a big move in the NBA to discuss right here with the Chicago Bulls sending Thaddeus Young and Al-Farouq Aminu to the San Antonio Spurs for the rights to DeMar DeRozan, who's going to be signing an $85 million 3-year deal with the Bulls. I am very happy for the Bulls. Very, very happy for the Bulls. This is a fantastic acquisition. And a lot of things had to fall into place in order for it to happen. But congratulations to Chicago. You finally have a team that can really legitimately put themselves in a position to contend. You have it. The starting lineup is set. You got a starting lineup, and it's going to be set for the next several years. Zach LaVine, congratulations. I wouldn't have to ask for a trade no more. Yeah, that went out the window. Very happy on the contract now from Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan solidifies a very athletic lineup. Um, Williams. Wow, he's just going to have a lot of help now in terms of just talent on the floor that is going to allow him to not have so much pressure to develop offensively as his trajectory was looking. Um, I was thinking about Kobe White, and I look at that situation. I say, okay, he's now solidified as a backup, score first, point guard, shooting guard combination, a la. Think of a guy that comes off the bench like a Lou Williams or somebody like that. That's the kind of role that you're putting Kobe White in, and it's the right one. Now he falls in line in a role that actually fits his game. So this Kobe White wins today big time with the signing. He wins big time. No more pressure to come in and do things you're not asked to do. You got Lonzo Ball to take care of that, and you don't have to come in and do anything outside of the norm because you have so many starters that are going to play heavy minutes. But there's still going to be room for a guy like him to come off the bench and possibly contend for like a six-man of the year type trophy. I don't know if he's developed that far just yet, but Kobe White is a guy who can score a lot of points really quickly from behind the arc. He'd be best with a bigger role for his trajectory as a star player, but I think right now where he is in his development, the role that the Bulls are going to put him in for this particular season is perfect. It's absolutely exquisite, and I hope they hold on to him. So this is great for him. Man, Chicago looks great. They did lose some defensive talent with Thaddeus Young taking off. I don't know how much of a role Al-Farouq Aminu had, but I can tell you this: Thaddeus Young had I'm not going to say career year, but he had somewhat of a renaissance year last year, and showed us once again that he can be highly productive and as a starter can do some good things. So I think San Antonio is going to be very happy to have him on board. I don't think that's a bad consolation prize for DeMar DeRozan right now. He's not going to beat DeMar DeRozan, but if he plays like he did for the Bulls last year, you'll feel real good about having him in a lineup where you asking other players like Johnson and the various players like Vassell to take bigger roles this year. You want those guys to slip into the role that DeMar DeRozan is leaving vacant for them. This is what you want if you're the Spurs. So that's what's happening. Guys are going to go into their righteous roles there, and they have a young team with a young core that has some veteran players on it that can kind of make things make sense a little more. So for the Spurs, I'm looking for guys like, they lost Patty Mills. That's going to be interesting. So that's a role that's going to open up even more so for young guys. But yeah, I'm just looking for all of their players overall. DeJounte Murray is going to take a step forward. Again, Johnson, I think his name is Keon Johnson. I believe that's his name. He's very much of an important piece. Probably the guy that should give the keys to the car to in San Antonio going forward. Jakob Pertl is going to take a step forward, I think. So they just got a bunch of guys on this team who are very good. You know what I'm saying? Walker's another piece that I really like. Just going to take steps forward with the absence of DeMar DeRozan and Rudy Gay. And so it's a new look Spur team, but they still have a very fantastic group of young players ready to take roles. So that's what I think of that. And as far as the Bulls, man, I'll tell you, this is a situation where I can legitimately say if they can make it all come together, And I believe they have Dwayne Casey in place. I think that's who I saw coaching that team they just hired. I believe so. If that's the case, make it all make sense. He can make it all make sense if that's the case. They have a great starting lineup. Not a good one, a great one. With Zach LaVine and what I know he can do offensively, with Lonzo Ball and what I know he can do to complement the other pieces, Vucevic and his all-star ability, Patrick Williams and his dominance potentially as he grows, which I think will become dominance, and DeMar DeRozan, who hasn't lost it, who I think they're going to be very happy to have for 3 years. I think that contract is good because that's one of the better athletes. So as he ages, you'd expect him to be able to take care of himself. Back in the Eastern Conference, but he's on a very good Eastern Conference team. I could argue this is the best Eastern Conference team he's had. I could argue that. Man, this is a good team, y'all. The Bulls are a good team. Because what I like is, like I said, Kobe White moves to the bench, and that means they got some real firepower coming off that bench ready to score. Anytime those stars sit down, don't take no breath against some Bulls. Kobe's coming in. That's the type of situation you got to deal with. Yeah, that's a dangerous team, y'all. I don't know how good they are, but I think they're comparable with the Knicks, teams like that. They're comparable with Boston. Like those are the teams that I'm looking at. They're not the top tier Nets, Milwaukee, possibly Philly, depending on what happens with their roster. I'm not so sure. They might be coming down a tier. But this team is ascending, and they've jumped many, many, many steps, in my opinion. Not just like one or two. They become a team that's probably going to be competing for home court, one of them top 4 spots. If things fall into place, of course. There are some other teams that are going to have something to say about it. The Pacers are a team I think may have something to say about it with their full spectrum of players. But, I think Charlotte took some steps forward. Some of the things they did. Of course, Detroit, I want to mention, they're also a team taking a step forward. So it's going to be a lot of teams in that mix. But I think Chicago separated themselves from some of those teams. I think Chicago stepped up. So, yeah, man. Yeah. I saw something that was kind of funny. They said, if you're looking for a super team and your mama tells you we got a super team at home, that's what Chicago put together. But I think it's a lot better than that because it's not just 3 players. It's a bunch of guys that can all do a lot of things, and they're all good defensively, and they got scoring everywhere. That Chicago team is scoring everywhere. I would not be surprised to see Chicago average about 110, 115 points a game because that's the type of scoring they just put on the floor. And with Lonzo Ball and the pace that they can play with that type of athleticism with DeRozan, Vucevic is going to have to keep pace, but they're going to probably not have issues with that because he's such a fluent player as well and can shoot the ball so well. So I'm looking at that team and I'm saying, man, nobody should want to see that Chicago team as of right now. As long as they are healthy, I don't think there's a team that really, truly wants to have to see them 7 games because they do have defense. Because of that Patrick Williams character. I'm telling you, he going to give problems to the KDs and all these small forwards. The situation I say the Lakers could have Achilles heels our small forward position defensively. Chicago ain't going to have that problem. Not if Patrick continues to develop like I think he will. So, yeah. Good team over there. Lauri Markkanen's still there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're keeping him. That's even more shooting. And he doesn't have to start, I don't think, necessarily now that the lineup is shifting the way that it is. He can also come off the bench, and they have a 3-point shooting duo coming off their bench. Maybe let Lonzo play in that second lineup with those 2 shooters. Woo, they're scary. They're so scary. Now Markkanen steps into a position where he can start building his confidence once again. So, yeah, Chicago, stand up. Good day for y'all. Good day for y'all. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.